Hi, this is Jason Aarons, and I'm going to go over a topic that is rather old. This is CallManager 7X and UCCX 7X, and I had a requirement from a customer to change the IP address. And this version is already end of sale, end of support, 3, 4 years old, and there's a couple articles on the internet, but this video will probably clarify. But I'm changing the CallManager IP address, and in doing so, the IP address change of CallManager. Now I'm no longer talking to the new CallManager IP address. UCCX uses what's called an Axel server, which is technically CallManager. It logs into CallManager to register and get information, CTI ports, CTI route points, devices, stuff like that. So I changed the IP address to CallManager, and I go to log into my UCCX. This is the error message that I'm going to get: unauthorized Axel server not found. So the workaround for this, what I need to do is I will actually log into CallManager. I won't be seeing this screen. So this is the normal, typical screen that you would see. And if I go to About, this is UCCX 7. Let's see exactly what version it is. Now it is version 7. We'll leave it at that. So what I'm going to do is, in order to fix this, so 701, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Start Programs. So I'm going to go to the C drive. I'm going to go to the Program Files. And in Program Files, I'm going to find the WF Avid. I always wondered what WF Avid stood for, but Avid is Architecture and Voice of Integrated Data. But I think this WF stood for Workforce. But there's a BAT tool. It's called CET.bat. So here is the CET.bat. I'm going to get a warning that this is reserved for TAC use only, so I'm not going to exit. I'm CCIE, so I feel that I can tackle this by myself. And what I'm going to do is, if you take a look at the CM config, I'm just going to double click on this over here. Notice there is 2 tabs at the top, and here's where I've got the wrong IP address. So I'm basically going to go into this tab and correct this. Now, if I do this, this alone will not fix the problem. Once you make any changes here, I'd probably recommend going to Control Panel Services and restarting the engine. So if you look in Control Panel Services, there's this UCCX Node Manager, and here you'll restart the engine for it to start. But the other option, what I'd probably do is, I did this, it didn't exactly solve the problem. So instead, what I recommend is going back into the CET or set tool and going into, so before we were in the CCM authentication, I recommend going to the app admin setup config. And so if we take a look at that and we click on, now I've got 2 nodes. This is a HA configuration. So if I take a look at the first node, what I would recommend is changing this to from done to fresh install. And what that's going to do is when I go to log into app admin, I'm going to now use administrator and then lowercase Cisco. And now what this is telling me is this is going to go through the first time setup. And of course, there's a warning that if you're using the Cisco security agent, disable it. So I would go back to services, I would look for Cisco, and I would look for the Cisco security agent. Normally it's right below the node manager, so Cisco security agent would be right in here, but this computer never had the Cisco security agent installed. Additionally, I can see down in the system notification area that I don't have a CSA. So this is the first node. I'm going to hit setup. I'm going to put in my new CallManager IP address. I'm going to make certain that my Axel user, so that's an application user that has the Axel role assigned to it, so that it's got rights to find new users. And then I'll put my password. If I have to, I'll reset the password as well. I'll hit next. There's already a license installed on this server, so there's actually zero need to find and browse the license file. I'm just basically going through this Axel setup piece, and then I'm going to change it back to done when I'm all over with. So we'll make sure everything's going to be activated. When I get to the end of this, it's not going to give me any output back. Instead, I'm basically going to go into the set tool, change it from fresh install back to done, and attempt to log back in again using my CallManager login. All right, so now I've got my new, I've changed my CallManager IP address. I'm going to go down. I may have to remove using the add remove functionality, but you want to make certain your new IP is the only Axle provider, that these should all be the same, because this all I did, this was production. All I did was change the CallManager IP address. I'm not messing around with any of the users. I'm going to hit next. Make certain you have any pop-up blocker disabled. IE compatibility view is required for 7X. You'll find some issues with, I want to say it was Firefox or something, never getting to the end and showing it. Again, I'm not changing anything. This was already a production install. All I'm changing is the CallManager IP address. So I want to say this is the one where here at the end I get this blank screen. So I've changed everything. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into the set tool, and I'm going to go back to that app admin setup config. I'm going to double click on this guy. I've noticed that my fresh install is still set. So now I just change it to done and apply. And then I would need to do the same thing to the second node, the same process to repeat that. At this point, I'm going to go in, restart the node engine, and I'll be able to log in again with my CallManager, the normal user that got added all along. This is fairly straightforward. There's a couple websites that have more detailed information, some screenshots as well. But hopefully this walkthrough video on what to do if you change your CallManager IP address so you can get back into UCCX is of help to you.